In the studio by Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesanya, Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force. You're welcome to our studios this morning.
Thank you very much.
Why is Tsaigumi referred to as the first indigenous UAV when there was Gulma in 2013?
Okay, once again, I thank you very much for the question and for the opportunity to make some clarifications on this seeming confusion. To start with, Tsaigumi unmanned aerial vehicle is the first indigenous operational UAV. The difference there is the word operational. Aircraft development is a process. Between 2008 and 2012, we had the first UAV, which was a student UAV, codenamed Amebo. It was basically experimental, and it had no autopilot. And then between 2012 and 2014, the Gulma was developed, and the whole idea behind the Gulma was to gather performance data with the aim of being able to come up with a much more improved version. I flew over 300 hours, and subsequently in September 2015, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, gave a directive that our aerospace engineers should do whatever it takes to have an operational UAV, one that can be deployed for combat duties. And they so commenced the work on what we have today at Tsaigumi. Gulma UAV, yes, had an autopilot, but it had a lot of differences compared with what we have on the Tsaigumi. For example, its endurance was just 4 hours, as opposed to the Tsaigumi, which has an endurance of 10 hours. Furthermore, in terms of service ceiling, the Gulma could only operate at about 5,000 feet above sea level, but the Tsaigumi can comfortably operate at between 10,000 and 15,000 feet. And very important is the fact that the Tsaigumi has an advanced intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance system. And so what the President and Commander-in-Chief did yesterday was to induct the Tsaigumi into the Nigerian Air Force. It's the first indigenous operational unmanned aerial vehicle that will be deployed to the Northeast and every other theater of operation as the need arises.
Okay, when will it be deployed to the theater, and what's the status of other such innovations by the Nigerian Air Force?
Okay, let me start from the very last bit of your question. There have been quite a number of feats recorded in the past 2.5 years. One of them is that of the hydraulic accumulator diaphragm, which is normally used to enhance the flight control system of the MI helicopter gunship. This particular part was being bought at an average of about $17,000 for each one. But we've been able to, through the R&D efforts of our aerospace engineers, localize this, and we are producing it at an average of about $70 for each one. That's about 25,000 naira actually. And this particular hydraulic accumulator diaphragm has been put into use, and we've been able to find out that it has operated effectively for over 150 flying hours, much more than what we were importing at about $17,000. I think another thing we've been able to put to use is the rocket launcher heat shield cone. This is normally used to minimize drag and to also eliminate the possibility of a black blast whenever a rocket is launched from the aircraft. This was something that was being bought for about $1,250 for each one. But what we are producing now is being produced at the cost of about 25 USD. That's a saving of over $1,225 on each one. And when we consider that on the average we use about 40 during intensive operations, that's quite huge in terms of savings.
Lastly, during the induction, Mr. President described it as he described Tsaigumi as a potential export commodity. Is the Nigerian Air Force seeing it in that direction?
Oh, certainly. When we talk about defense industrial complexes, it begins more often than not with the military, but it doesn't end with the military. So what's normally expected is at this stage, we expect indigenous companies to also come on board to partner with the Nigerian Air Force so that indeed we can achieve that lofty objective which we want, to be able to mass produce the UAV. And of course, when we start doing so, of course, it has a lot of export value.
Thank you so much for joining us on Panorama. I've been speaking with Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesanya, Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force. And moving on now.